Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Josh Waun of Goodrich Boys Basketball. How's it going, bud?
Going good. How are you?
Doing well. Pretty good season for you guys. Just recap what a pretty interesting year for Goodrich.
Yeah. So we dealt with probably some of the worst injuries ever on a high school basketball team. We had two season-ending injuries and two 8-week injuries to three of our five starters at the start of the year.
Yeah. Just kind of talk about going through that year and all that.
So we knew from the end of last year with the team coming in that we were going to be pretty solid, and it was just unfortunate that our full team never actually played a game together. Gavin was hurt from football. He tore his PCL in football, so he didn't play till the sixth game. And then Jace, who hurt his shoulder in football, tore his labrum in our third game against Carmen, and he was out after that. And then Gavin, for one game we played where it was Gavin's first game back, and it was me, Parker, and Jack, and we beat Notre Dame Prep. And then the next game, Parker breaks his hand, I break my foot, and we're both out for 8 weeks, same game. And luckily, our injuries weren't too bad to the point where Parker and I were able to come back, and that helped us make it to quarterfinals and then lose to the eventual state champs.
Yeah. So, kind of talk about going through an injury like that.
It was really tough because I wasn't originally going to plan on playing basketball in college, and I was kind of working. I worked really hard for kind of this year, and then for it to happen like that, I was really down, but I always kept a smile on my face whenever I was talking to anybody. And so I break my foot in the sixth game of the year, and next day I go see a doctor. He says 6 weeks, no weight bearing, playing by 8. And I get a CT scan, go back to him, and the break's bigger than originally thought, and it moves to 10 to 12 weeks, which would be out for the season essentially. And my mom was really down about it, so she decided to get me a second opinion. And with that second opinion came with another doctor who kind of gave us a more aggressive approach, and then I was able to come back by 8. And I was playing in limited minutes before playoffs, but I was playing in 7 weeks against Beecher. And I was really, really happy for myself, for the team to be able to come back and finish the year.
All right. So just kind of talk about basically, going out there and, being out for that long and then just having the run that you guys had.
Yeah.
When you came back.
It was interesting because I went from kind of being one of obviously a starter, and then going to the end of the bench. I went from being a player to kind of almost, I went from being a player on the floor to, trying to hype my teammates up, be the best teammate I could be for them. And then I transitioned back to being a player after the injury came back. And it was interesting to see both sides of that throughout the year. And I would be probably worse if I wasn't able to come back, but luckily I was able to come back.
So just kind of talk about what this team, what this community means to you.
Goodrich is a very tight-knit community. Everyone knows everybody. We only have 700 kids in our school, and it's the same group of parents at every sporting event, whether that's football, basketball, baseball. Everyone knows everybody, and everyone likes each other. It's a kind of well-knit community, and big sports fans will always have big Goodrich showing. And I'm thankful because I went to Grand Blanc until 6th grade, and to be able to come in not really being a Goodrich kid, but I was kind of welcomed and became kind of a Goodrich kid after that.
So what are you gonna miss about all the like? I mean, so you're probably not going to continue your basketball career, right? Or what's your plans post high school?
I'm looking into it. I got accepted into U of M as a student, so it's kind of hard for me to give up basketball. Like I'm also looking into that side of things, getting in contact with some coaches, but whatever happens, I'll be okay with. It's just a really tough decision to give up basketball. And what was the first part of the question?
Um, honestly, I forgot too. So
It was what am I gonna miss?
yeah,
I'm gonna miss I'm gonna miss being practice every day with a bunch of people who are my friends and teammates. I'm gonna miss seeing like Coach Barnes and Coach Rubio and Coach Pratt every day, who were because that after a while we became kind of like a family, and that's really gonna be missed.
so what's what does basketball mean to you? Just the sport overall.
Basketball means a lot to me. It means because I don't play any other sports, and Jack didn't until he played golf, so he can relate to me. But it was always just well, everyone's out playing football, baseball, whatever in the summer. We were always in the gym playing basketball throughout the whole year, and it kind of just resonated with us a lot as kind of like self personally, which is why I'm kind of still looking to play, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Um, just kind of talk about like what you're gonna miss and all that. It's are you gonna what are you gonna miss about high school basketball?
I'm gonna miss, you know, one thing I'm gonna miss is the atmosphere because if if I play basketball or not, for the rest of my life, I'm not gonna be able to experience having those like crowds of like a whole town coming out to support you and cheer for you as you're playing. That's one big thing I miss. I'm gonna miss be able to compete for like a town and compete for like my school. And obviously, I'm gonna miss seeing all my friends because we had 8 seniors on the team who are all very close friends, and most of us are gonna go to different schools. Actually, probably half of those are gonna go to state, but I'm probably gonna go to different schools, so I'm gonna miss seeing all those guys every day. And yeah,
Is it gonna be weird not seeing each other because it's like when everyone goes their separate ways, it's yeah, so obviously you guys are gonna keep in touch with each other, right?
yeah, we're gonna keep in touch with each other. We're gonna, if we're back in town, we're gonna hang out with each other. We're gonna visit each other's like campuses and stuff. But for the most part, it's just gonna be a bit different not having that tight friend group because our senior class, with me, Jack, Zach, Kane Klonowski, Brian, Jace, Brady, all those athletes kind of played almost every sport with each other. Like I was a like 5 sport athlete in like 6th grade, and eventually just went on basketball. But I was always playing sports with those guys, and we played every sport with each other. And it helped us with the football team. That all those years of chemistry, bringing them to Ford Field, helped with our team this year, bringing us to the quarterfinals. And that chemistry of that friendship and all those sports really paid off, and it's going to be missed.
All right. Well, Josh, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck in whatever you do next.
Thanks for having me.